Hello everyone, this is Keith from the Solo Gamers Club and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be continuing with our playthrough of Secrets of the Lost Tomb, the Pharaoh with the Blue Eyes. We've managed to locate our first talisman, the Staff of Ra, and that's in the Well of Souls. So we'll be moving into that room to claim that very important item. In the previous episode, Bianca Sinclair defeated one of the tomb warriors, and she should have gained 1/2 of their courage. So she's going to move down, or up I should say, from -3 to -2 now on her courage level. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have Bianca go into the Well of Souls and claim that talisman, the Staff of Ra, and in the meantime I'm going to have James attempt to take out some of these monsters that are on the board. We've got that revolutionary poltergeist in the ceiling spike trap and Blackbeard's keepers in the sacrificial chamber. So I'm going to have him use his M1A1 rifle, which will allow him to attack a creature at a distance, and he won't have to go into the room and risk that spike trap. We'll begin with Bianca. We'll start by using an action from Bianca, and she's going to do a move action and move into that Well of Souls and claim the talisman. Bianca will move into that room, and she's going to claim that Staff of Ra. Now that's going to give her a +5 to combat, and then she can also cycle this to get +10 combat versus undead and horror creatures. When you've used this card 3 times, discard. All right. That's going to end her turn, and we'll move on to James. James is currently in Quetzalcoatl's Hall, and he's going to use that M1A1 rifle to attack the revolutionary poltergeist. So James is going to spend an action, and he's going to use his M1A1 rifle. And that's a dexterity weapon, two-handed, gives him +5 to combat, and then we'll also be able to use his Rifleman ability, which is +2 combat when using a two-handed dexterity weapon. James's dexterity is 3. We gain 5 for the rifle and 2 for his Rifleman ability. He'll be rolling 10 dice on this test. Now this is the first time that James is facing the revolutionary poltergeist, so he needs to take 2 courage loss against it. So we're going to move him down to from -1 to -3 on his courage level. And now he's going to make his attack. He'll be rolling 10 dice for the attack. And here's his roll. Oh, he didn't do very well at all. He has no hits. And he also rolled a couple of critical failures, but fortunately for us, the creature does not have any special abilities in that department. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have James spend one of his audacity points, moving him from 2 down to 1, and we're going to re-roll that. Okay, here's his re-roll. That time he did much better. He's got a total of 4 hits, 1 critical hit and 3 normal hits. So he's got a total of 4 hits. That creature has no defense, so all of those hits are going to go through, and he's going to take a total of 4 wounds. So we'll mark the creature with 4 wounds, and that has a health of 5, so we're going to have to do 1 more hit, unfortunately, on it. That's going to finish James's turn, and we'll move on to Bianca. Bianca's going to spend her second action, and now that she's got that Staff of Ra, I think I'm going to have her move down to Quetzalcoatl's Descent. We'll go to the 2nd level. So she's going to move 1, and then we're going to transfer her to the Pharaoh's Hall. And 2, that's her 2nd movement. And I think we'll have her move north and check out that room up there. This is level 2 now. All right, the first one was a level 1 only. And this next tile is a level 2 tile, so we'll see what that is. Oh, it's a red tile. Ouch. It's a dark trap. All right. So she moves into the dart trap, and that has a trap value of 5. So we got to place 5 trap tokens there. So we'll place 5 trap tokens there. And then she's going to have to resolve that trap, and that's a dexterity check. If she fails, she's going to lose 2 health, and she's going to gain a poisoned condition. All right. Well, luckily she has a dexterity value of 4, so that's good. And she is also a trap master, +3 to all trap checks. And so she'll be rolling a total of 7 dice for this test. Unfortunately, Bianca has no audacity left, so we'll have to see if we can pass this without any help. Here's the roll. And she passes that with flying colors, no problem. So we get to remove one of the trap tokens from the room, and that's going to end her turn. And now we'll move back to James. Now he's still in Quetzalcoatl's Hall. I'm going to have him spend another action, and he's going to use that M1A1 rifle again with his rifleman ability. He'll be rolling 10 dice for the combat, and he's going to attack that revolutionary poltergeist. All right, here's his roll. Re-roll that one. And he's got plenty of hits. He's got a total of 4 of them. That's going to kill the revolutionary poltergeist. So James is going to be able to recover 3 soul shards. James will gain 3 soul shards, and then he gets to reclaim half of the courage value of the creature, so that'll move him from -3 to -2. All right. And now we'll continue on with Bianca. She is in the dart trap room on level 2, so we'll have her spend an action. She's going to move. And I think she's going to move 1 and 2, and we'll see what that room is. Once again, this is a level 1 tile, so we'll have to discard that. And now we got a level 2, and that's determined to be the Osiris the Eternal. All right. And that's a level 2 scenario trigger. This has a very neat action on it. We can search to gain 4 courage. Bianca's search level is yellow, so we'll be using the yellow column and making the roll. All right, and here's her roll. She rolls a 4, and that is, we have to undergo a misadventure, and if we pass it, then we can gain an item. The misadventure reads, "This room is filled with dense brush and Spanish moss. Something slithers over your foot. Looking down, you see a huge red and yellow snake. You cautiously step over the tail, but a loud angry hiss fills the room. We have to do a dexterity test." Bianca's dexterity is a 4, so here is her roll. And she failed. So we're going to have to read the fail condition. It says you fail to move quickly enough, and the viper head slashes you across your chest. You stagger back and fall upon the pile of bones. The creature slinks off. We lose 2 health, and we gain a poisoned condition. So Bianca's health is going to drop by 2, so we'll move her from 12 down to 10, and she gains the poison condition, and during upkeep it's going to cost her another 2 health. In order to get rid of it, we have to roll a die, and on a 1 we can discard it. That was not a good development, but what we are going to gain is the +4 for exploring. We get +4 courage, so she's going to gain 4 courage. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's at +2 now. And we have to move her exploration marker down to red. All right. And now we got to find out what the scenario trigger is. That's the second scenario trigger. We'll read that. And that reads, a 2 or 3 for the second time, we find the ruby scarab. And that reads, you feel an intense power here. It must be the next potent talisman. After searching for a while, you notice a dull red glow emanating from a gem embedded in a huge statue of Khepri, god of the scarabs. It's the ruby scarab. As you pry it from the statue, the stone springs to life and swarms of scarabs burst from the hole previously covered by the gem. Place 2 carnivorous scarabs and their swarm tokens in this room. When you defeat them all, gain the ruby scarab. Alright, each of the carnivorous scarabs have a swarm value of 6, so they'll start out with 6 swarm tokens each. Next up is going to be James, and I think he's going to run down there to help her. James is going to burn an action, and that's going to be a move action for him. So James is going to enter Quetzalcoatl's descent, and he'll move down to the 2nd level, which is going to be to Pharoah's Hall. He'll move down to Pharoah's Hall, and since these are swarm creatures, I don't think it's any benefit for him to enter the room. We're not going to gain any outnumber bonus. So we'll have him pause in that Pharoah's Hall, and then he can use his rifle on the coming turns to follow up on that. Bianca's up next. She's going to use her 4th action, and she's going to attack. The carnivorous scarabs have a courage value of 2, so we're going to have to move her down 2 points. And now she's going to employ her .45 caliber pistol. That's going to give her +3 with a dexterity check, so that's a total of 7. Then she's going to gain +3 for Georgios, +3 checks when using dexterity. So she'll be rolling a total of 10 dice for this check. And here's the roll. And she's rolled a total of 1 regular hit and 2 critical hits. Now the creature has a defense of 1, so we're going to lose that 1 success, but the 2 criticals will go through. Now the creatures have a health value of 2, so we've got the 2 critical hits. That's going to take 1 of the swarm tokens away. Boy, these things are going to be difficult to take out. The creature's combat value is equal to X, and that was the number of swarm tokens they had. So that would be 6. We scored a total of 3 hits. So we're going to take a total of 3 wounds. So that's going to move Bianca down from 10 down to 7. Not good. Well, James is up next. He's going to spend an action. That's his 4th, and he's going to use his M1A1 rifle against the carnivorous scarabs at a range of 1. Now this is the first time he's facing the scarabs, so he's going to have a 2-point loss to his courage. That's going to move him from -2 to -4. So he's got a dexterity of 3, +5 for the M1A1 rifle, and +2 for his rifleman ability. He'd be rolling 10 dice on the test. And I think James is going to spend his last audacity point prior to the combat, and that will allow 4s, 5s, and 6s to be successful in the attack. He's going to target this somewhat wounded scarab. Here's the roll. All right, he has managed a total of 4 standard hits. Oops, that was a 5. And 1 critical. I'm sorry, we have to compare our values with that. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. The creature had a strength of 5, so we're going to take no damage. Now we're going to try to damage the creature, and it has an armor value of 1, so we're going to lose 1 die for that. 4 hits are going to get through, so we're going to be able to take out 2 of those swarm tokens. It has a health value of 2, so for each 2, We can take out a swarm token. It's down to 3 now. These things are exceptionally tough to get rid of. All right, we're going to move on to Bianca, and she's going to have to spend a action and combat the creature again. She'll attack the same creature using her .45 caliber pistol and the extra ability from Georgios. So she'll be rolling a total of 4 dexterity, 3 for the .45 caliber pistol, and 3 for Georgios, 10 dice. And here's her roll. Whoops. 1 dice got flown out. Okay, so we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. And the creature has a strength of 3, so she won't take any damage for that. Creature's armor will remove 1 of the dice, and the rest are going to hit. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Nope, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Let me take these out of here. 4s don't count. She has a total of 3 hits. The creature's strength is 3, so she'll take no damage. 1 is removed to armor. 2 hits will get through, taking out 1 of the swarm tokens. That's correct. All right, James is going to spend an action, and he's going to attack again using the same procedure with the M1A1. It'll give him a total of 10 dice. And here's his roll. All right. Let's take a look at those results. He's got 2 criticals and 2 regular hits. So he's applied 4 damage. The creature has a total of 2 health remaining, or 2 strength rather, for its combat ability. So he'll take no damage. 1 of them is removed due to the armor, and 3 hits will get through. So we're going to take 1 swarm token will be removed, and then I believe we're going to apply 1 wound as a part of that swarm attack. And that's correct. That's like a half a hit, so to speak, in this case. All right. And Bianca's going to use her final action, and I'm wondering if she should do a rest action maybe. Yeah, I think I'm going to have her do a rest action that will recover 2 points of health. She'll go from 7 up to 9. And then for James's final action, he's going to spend that action with an attack again, this time on that final carnivorous scarab. Be making a 10 dice roll. And here's his attack. All right, he's rolled a total of 2 hits. The creature right now has a attack value of 1. There's 1 swarm token there. So he won't take any damage. And now we apply it to the creature. 1 of the hits is taken up by armor. 1 hit gets through. So we apply another hit to that swarm token. It had 1 on it already. And we've killed that creature. That's going to earn James 1 point of courage back, half the value. And he's going to get 1 soul shard. And that's his 4th soul shard. Now that is all of our actions. We're going to move on to the tomb phase now. So we're going to draw a tomb card. And we'll see what happens with this. And that's a red-backed card. Dark Side of the Moon. Tomb effect. For all characters, -5 combat during this tomb phase. Move creatures. Alright, well, the carnivorous scarab is already in attack position. It'll stay where it is, but Blackbeard's keepers will move. It has a movement value of 2. So it's going to move 1 and 2. Alright, now the creature's combat will occur. And the carnivorous scarab is going to attack Bianca. Bianca's going to have her same combat value she had before, so that'll be a total of 10 dice. Now this time that scarab is fully armed. It's a swarm of 6, so she's going to need quite a few hits here. Alright, she has a total of 3 hits. Alright, 3 hits. The creature has a strength of 6, so she's going to take a total of 3 wounds. We'll move her down from 9 down to 6. Now we'll resolve what happens to the creatures. Has an armor value of 1, so 2 hits will get through, and 1 swarm token is going to be removed. And now we go on to spawning creatures. We're going to have a total of, on level 1, there's going to be a base creature and an elite creature. So we're going to have a Siren and Hound of Tindalos. Oh boy. So we'll place the Hound of Tindalos in the stand. And I'll place that in the ceiling trap room. And then the Siren we'll place in the sacrificial chamber. All right, on level 2 now, 1 elite creature is going to show up, and that has to show up in the dart trap room. This is getting that nasty. And that creature is a skeleton pirate. All right, we'll get a stand for that. And that's going to go into the dart trap room. All right, now we're going to move to our upkeep phase. All right, we'll begin with Bianca. Now she has a weakened condition and a poison condition. And the poison condition is going to inflict 2 health damage to her. It's going to move her from 6 down to 4. And now she can make a die roll. On a roll of 1, she can get rid of the poison condition. And that's a 6, so that's not good. We have to solve that or she's going to die. There's no doubt about that. Next is her .45 caliber pistol. We're going to refresh that, and then we're going to make a roll. On a roll of 1, it's discarded. Rolls a 2, so we're good with that. Her other item is the weakened card, and that she can only make a roll for when she rests. I did do a rest action for her, so I should have rolled for that. So I'm going to make the roll for that now. On a 5 or 6, we can get rid of that weakened condition. And that's a failure. All right, so that will end her upkeep phase. We'll move on now to James. All right, James does not have any cards that require upkeep. He did use his M1A1 rifle, but that has no upkeep status on it, so he's good. And then both characters are going to flip their action tokens back up to action side. And then finally their search tokens are going to be rotated. James's will move to red. Bianca's is going to move to green because she used that 1 more time than he did, so it's back to green. And then the comet track is going to advance by 1. It's going to move the comet track up to 2. So we've got 4 turns left to deal with these things before Pharoah with the blue eyes returns. Well, we'll begin a new round now, and I'll start with Bianca, and she's going to spend an action and try to combat that creature, the scarabs. Now that thing is down to a swarm value of 5. She's going to be using that .45 caliber pistol again, and she'll be rolling 10 dice for the test. All right. Well, she ended up with only 2 critical hits, so she's going to take 3 wounds. The creature has 5 swarm tokens. She has 2 hits, so she'll be taking 3 wounds. That's going to move her down to 1. Oh. All right, and both of the hits are going to get through. That will take out 1 of the swarm tokens, so it's down to a 4. So we're making some progress on it. This is very difficult. James is up next, and he's going to use his M1A1 and target that carnivorous scarab. We've got to get rid of that in order to gain the talisman. So he'll be rolling a total of 10 dice as well. Okay, here's his roll. And he's got a total of 3 critical hits. Now that creature has a value of 4 now, so he's going to take 1 wound. It's going to move his health track down to 13. 3 hits are going to get through. That'll take out 1 of the swarm tokens, and it will also issue a wound towards the next one. Well, Bianca has no choice but to rest, and she can't rest in a room with a creature. So she's going to have to spend one of her actions, and she's going to move, I think, into the room with James. We can't bring her up to level 1 because there's quite a few creatures up there. She would have to be doing evasion rolls and things. So I'll move her into Pharoah's hall, and that will be the extent of her move. I could move into another chamber, but we don't know what's in there, so I don't want to do that. We could have more creatures out on the map. So that'll be her turn, and now James will spend his action and once again use that M1A1 rifle. And he'll be using 10 dice for this test. Okay, we got to re-roll that one. All right, we've got a total of 5 criticals and 1 standard hit. So he won't take any damage from this. The creature has a defense of 1, so we'll lose that die. But 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to get through. So that's a total of 2 swarm tokens worth of hits. He did pretty good on that. Bianca is up next. She's going to spend an action and she's going to rest, and that will improve her health up to 3. James is going to spend an action and use his M1A1, giving him 10 dice, and we'll try to take out that carnivorous scarab. Here's his roll. All right, he has only 2 hits. The creature has 1 swarm token, so it has a combat value of 1. He won't take any damage. 1 of those will be absorbed by the armor, so 1 hit will happen. We add that to the hit that's already there, and that will finally take out the creature. And the ruby scarab is now on the board. Now the rules for that, for the scenario state that when we defeat all of the carnivorous scarabs, we gain the ruby scarab. Now we're not in that room anymore though, so I think that the rules don't state this. So I think that that just kind of is, we have to move in there to gain that. All right, Bianca's up next, and she's going to use an action, and she's going to rest, and that'll gain 2 health back. That puts her up to 5 health. James is up next. He's going to spend his 4th action, and he's going to use his M1A1 rifle to attack that skeleton pirate. Now that thing has a courage level of 3. Now James will regain 1 point of courage by killing that last scarab. It puts him at -2. But now he's going to drop a total of 3 for attacking that thing. He's down to -5. And that means he's -2 to story checks. All right, let's do the calculation now for the skeleton pirate. Well, James will still be using the M1A1 dexterity weapon. It's a total of 8 with the weapon, +2 for rifleman. He'll be rolling 10 dice. Okay, here is his roll. This creature has a combat value of 5. I got 1 extra die there. All right. He's done a total of 2 standard hits and 3 critical hits. So he's got 5 hits. That's equal to the creature's combat level. He won't take any damage. Creature has an armor value of 1, so we'll lose 1 die for that. And he's going to do a total of 4 hits on the creature, which is good. So we'll mark 4 damage, 4 hits on that skeleton pirate. Now Bianca has 2 actions left, and I think I'm going to spend 1 to heal, and that'll bring her up to a total of 7 health. James is going to spend his 5th action and try to take out that skeleton pirate. All right, here is his roll. All right, he has a total of 3 critical hits and 2 standard hits. Now he does have a critical fail, 2 of those, and that creature has an infected condition that will be applied to him, but that's only if he takes wounds. He has a total of 5 hits. Creature's total attack is 5, so he won't take any wounds, and then the critical fails won't come into play. Creature has an armor of 1, so 4 hits are going to get through, and he's going to take out that skeletal pirate, and that's going to earn him 4 soul shards. It's going to give James a total of 8 soul shards, and he'll be able to recover half of the creature's courage value. Creature has a value of 3, and that's 1.5 rounded up is 2, so that'll reclaim 2 points of courage for James, moving him up from -5 to -3. And finally, Bianca's up. She's going to use her last action, and she's going to move and claim that ruby scarab. And that gives her a +2 to mythos. And during the upkeep phase, she gains +2 health. That's very good. And I think for James's last action, he's going to do a rest action, and he's going to regain 2 courage. That'll move him from -3 to -1. And now we'll move on to the dreaded tomb phase. And the cards revealed to be Don't Make Me Angry. The tomb effect is for all characters -3 to combat checks during this tomb phase. And we're going to move all of the creatures. So we'll start with Blackbeard's Keepers. They have a move value of 2, so 1 and 2. It's going to move into Pharoah's Hall. And then the Hound of Tindalos has a movement value of 6, so that's also going to move there. 1, 2, and 3. Not good. And now creature combat is going to occur. So poor James is going to have to bear the brunt of this. Both creatures are going to attack him. Not good. We'll begin with the Hound of Tindalos. Now that has a courage value of 4, so that's going to drop James down by 4 to -5. All right, he is going to use his M1A1 rifle. It's a dexterity weapon, and he's going to gain +2 for his rifleman ability. It's a total of 10 dice. Creature has a combat value of 6. All right, here is the roll. Okay, I got 1 stacked. All right, he has done a total of 4 hits. 1 critical. So the creature has a combat value of 6. He rolled 4. He'll take 2 damage. That's going to move him down to 11 health. And now let's take a look at the creature's armor rating. It has an armor value of 0, so all the hits are going to get through. And he's going to inflict a total of 4 wounds to the creature. It has a health of 9. So we'll mark that creature with 4 hits. And now Blackbeard's Keepers are going to attack. They have a courage value of 2, so he's going to lose 2 more courage, moving him down to -7. It's going to start affecting his upkeep. Now this creature has a combat value of 3, and it has no armor. All right, he's going to use his M1A1 again, and see if we can get some good hits. All right, he did pretty well. He's got a total of 2 criticals and 3 standard hits. So he's exceeded the creature's combat value of 3. He'll take no wounds. Creature has no armor. 5 hits will get through, and he'll kill the creature. It had only 4 for its health. So he'll gain 2 soul shards and regain 1 courage. His courage will move now up to -6. That moves James up to 10 soul shards. And next we're going to move to spawning creatures. We're going to have a base creature on level 1 and a base creature on level 2. On level 1 we'll be placing a Tomb's Eye, and on level 2 it's going to be the Stone Spirit of Olmec. Alright, that one has to be placed in the Dart Trap room. And we'll see where the Tomb's Eye is going to be placed. And we'll place that Tomb's Eye in the ceiling spike trap, and that would be more balanced. We already have this Siren here, and that one is if on the same level, all adventurers with a mythos of 3 or lower have to spend all their actions to move toward the creature's location. Well, both creatures, or both characters, have a mythos less than 3, so it's not good. Bianca does have the Ruby Scarab, which gives her +2 mythos, but that's not enough. That's a 3, so this has to be a 3 or lower. So that means that we're going to have to move to her location if we move up to the next, back up to level 1. And then finally now we're going to go to our upkeep phase. Alright, we'll begin with Bianca. Now she has a poisoned condition that's going to give 2 health loss. That's going to move her down to 5. And once again, I forgot about this weakened condition, and she could have rolled every time that she did a rest action. I think she did a total of 2 rest actions, so I'm going to make 2 rolls for that for her. On a 5 or 6, she can get rid of that. She did it. She's got a 6, so the weakened condition is gone. And now we're going to roll for her 45 caliber pistol. On a roll of 1, that will be out of ammo. Rolled a 4, so we're good. James would be up next. He has no upkeep that he has to deal with, which is good. We're going to rotate our search tokens. James will be moved up to green, and Bianca will be to yellow. And then all that remains is to move the comet track, and that's going to move from 2 to 3 rather. So we've got 3 turns remaining before Pharoah will awaken. And I think I'm going to bring this chapter to a close, and we will reconvene in the next video where our heroes will continue in their search for the talismans to defeat the Pharoah with the blue eyes. Now we have many creatures out on the board, including this Hound of Tindalos, which says that when he's defeated on a roll of a 1, he reappears. So wow, this is really a tough game, and for a blind playthrough, I'm not quite sure what to do. So I'm just going to do as best as I can, and then maybe learn from this for a future game. Well, thanks very much for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club, and I hope to see you again for our next episode of Secrets of the Lost Tomb, the Pharoah with the Blue Eyes. Have a good evening.